Welcome back to the Barca Breakdown. My name is Yusuf, and I'm here with my co-host Adam.
You're a hater, Yus.
Why?
How can you be so happy? And if you think Yus is a hater, smash that subscribe button. How could you be happy about us talking about the departure of a Barca legend in Dani Alves?
Well, first off, I didn't mention it yet, so I was giving the fans what they want here. But am I happy that Dani Alves is leaving? Slightly. I mean,
you
I've
hated
been
on him. You thought he was slow?
No.
You thought he didn't
He
provide
is
much?
slow. I mean, dude, talking about a player that's like 38 when he came back to this team, it's kind of ridiculous that we signed him and then had him play almost equivalent amount of games as Dest, although part of it was because Dest was hurt. But like, I thought him coming back to the team was going to be somewhat more of a senior role, teaching Dest, for example, how to play and giving him tips and helping him grow. But to me, it almost seemed like Dani Alves came in and started just playing the game. And I didn't necessarily want that from him. He played some major games. He was slow. Of course, it was because partially Dest was injured, but we also don't have anybody else to cover him in that spot. So it was Dani Alves. And, we're not re-signing him for next year, Adam. If you're calling me a hater here, right? Did you want him to be re-signed?
Listen, I agree with you. I think Dani Alves, the reports are saying he wanted a short contract because he wants to be ready to play in the World Cup, probably for his final chance. And so he was hoping to stay match fit, with Barca, but he might now have to go back to Brazil to play. And I totally agree with you, which is that at the turn of of December of the new year, basically, right? We thought Dani Alves was coming to be a kind of guiding light for Sergi Dest, and it didn't really happen, which was very odd for us. And then Sergi Dest kind of had this period, I think, in like March and April, where he started to look better and better, and then he just had some injuries, right? I think he injured his hamstring against Rayo Vallecano in like a 1-0 victory, and I think it was like midweek before that where he had kind of saved a goal and also gotten injured. And so, it's been really sad to see what happened to Sergi Dest. And of course, I'm very sad to see Dani Alves leave. I have some very fond memories of watching him as a child and, in high school and college a little bit. And so it's a shame, but like you said, he's a little bit old. I don't know if we really need to bring him back, but we can only afford to let him go if we have, one, a player who will be an out-and-out starter at that right back spot, and then if we have a sufficient substitute, right? And so if you think about it right now, I mean, it's like choosing which of your fingers you want to cut off. Do you want to start Sergi Dest or Sergi Roberto? Right, that is the tough decision we have to make, and I'm actually a Sergi Dest fan. He has a lot of improving to do, especially on the defensive end. I think we remember seeing him get torched a few times by Mbappe in the Champions League, 2 seasons ago now, and then against Vinicius. I think I've seen him have a few rough performances, and so, Dest has a lot of improving to do, but I feel confident that he can do it. I do understand there are some people out there who kind of wonder, is Sergi Dest the quality of a Barca player? And so that's what I wonder from you. Like, do you think Sergi Dest is better than Nelson Semedo? Because Semedo was the guy who was supposed to come in at that right back spot and kind of allow Sergi Roberto to have some more midfield time and to not have him in his slow pace be the right back. But yeah, like, do you think Dest is better than Semedo?
I almost want to say they're on equal footing because at the same time...
Oh, that's not good, dude. You used to hate Nelson Semedo, man. If you think they're on equal footing, then I think that means you want us to get rid of Dest.
I think Dest is a younger player, needs more experience. I think Semedo had probably a few years under his wing at Barca, and I don't think Dest has had that, right? So I'm willing to give Dest more time to develop as a player and become better and just flourish. But I think right now, if I'm saying that Dest is younger, has less experience, and is as good as Semedo, then I'm not thinking this is definitely a bad spot to be in. I just think there's room for growth. And I think we've talked about this with other players like Xavi, and I think they're doing a good job, but they need to be better, right? We're coming up at some of these top-tier La Liga teams, playing in the Champions League, even in the Europa League, right? We saw so many people
and Vinicius,
struggle.
Right? Like, at the end of the day, what we need to think about is our goal, sure, it's to be great in Europe, and sure, there are, plenty of wingers out there who are very fast, like Mbappe. But at the end of the day, we got to beat Real Madrid, right? That's like the first level of Barca excellence we have to hope for. They just won the Champions League final, and hey, I don't like Vinicius Jr. at all, but he's pretty good, right? And he's very fast, and he's good at dribbling. And so we need to have a player back there who we feel like when we come up against a big game against this, flourishing player in Vinicius that can stop him. And Dest has some work to do that, but Sergio Roberto is going to get burned, right? Dani Alves didn't get burned in that 4-0, I think, because Benzema was gone and they just didn't have the same attack as they had for the Champions League run for the other parts of the season. And so that's kind of where I'm looking at is that we need to be able to match up with Real Madrid. As a Barca fan, that should be one of our ultimate goals. Is we're not here to take second again. We're not here again to be happy we made a Europa League semifinal. Like, that's a bunch of malarkey.
I can't believe that we just re-signed Sergio Roberto since we're talking about that position, and he hasn't played at all after I think he had a quadriceps surgery. I don't know if he's going to come back and be very good, right? Like, he hasn't been training very much.
And he hasn't been very good for a few seasons. That's true. Right? Is it entirely his fault? No. And is it kind of illuminating that every coach from Valverde to Setien to Koeman would use him often? I mean, a little bit, right? That does show that there's probably something about his consistency that maybe we as fans just only kind of harp on the bad spots. But you're right, he has not been very good for very many years now, and he's kind of been living off of that 6-1 goal against PSG for a long time. And so signing Sergio Roberto as a sub in for midfield when inevitably one of our midfielders of Frankie, Pedro, Busquets gets hurt, and having rotation time with Gavi and Nico, I could stand and be okay with Sergio Roberto coming in those spots, and I actually do like him. He seems like a cool guy, but having him be like our starting right back, or he's not going to be a starting midfielder, but as a starting right back it seems like bad news bears.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to. We had this in our last video talking about the money that we're gonna get from BLM and stuff. So hopefully we can maybe get a player in the right back position to substitute is that. We'll see, though. We have so much work to do coming into the summer transfer window. Let us know your thoughts about who we're going to have to, or how Dest
Smash that subscribe button while Yus tries to figure out what to say about Serginho Dest. Let us know in the comments your favorite Dani Alves memory. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, guys.
Have a nice week.